Good morning, children. In today's session, we will be talking about molecular orbital theory. It's a very important topic of chemical bond, class 11. And first, we'll be talking about the salient features, and then, we'll be applying this theory to different molecules. So, this theory, children, was given by Hund and Mulliken. It was introduced by Hund and Mulliken. And this theory, it explains diamagnetic nature, paramagnetic nature, bond strength, and even bond order. So till now, we were not able to explain the magnetic behavior, stability aspect. How many bonds, of course, VBT was able to talk about. But the magnetic behavior, stability aspect, the other theory was not able to explain. So this theory can explain. Okay. Now first let us see what are the salient features of this theory. Okay. The first important point is that according to this, the atomic orbitals combine, new molecular orbitals are formed. Now if you remember, what was VBT saying? VBT was saying the atomic orbitals combine. Remember, we were saying hydrogen atomic orbital, 1s orbital combined, and there were two electrons which were there inside. They were having opposite spin and all that we were talking. Here it is saying the two atomic orbitals combine and new orbitals are formed, and these orbitals are called as molecular orbitals. Okay, these are called as molecular orbitals. And further it says, which atomic orbitals can combine? It says atomic orbitals which combine should possess comparable energies and proper orientation. That means if we say 1s orbital of one atom, it can combine with 1s of the neighboring. Not that 1s can combine with 2s. Okay, that means they should have comparable energies. Right? And if we can say proper orientation aspect, that means PZ, like convention say, we can say the PZ is the internuclear axis. So PZ should combine with PZ only. PY should combine with PY. X should combine with PX. Okay, so like that it is. The orientation is important and they should be having comparable energies. The next point says the number of the molecular orbitals which are formed is always equal to the number of atomic orbitals combining. Molecular formed should be equal to atomic orbital combining. Means if two atomic orbitals are combining, two new molecular orbitals will be formed. Okay, like for P, PX, PY, PZ, 3 atomic orbitals. So 3 of this and 3 of another one will combine and will form 6 new molecular orbitals. How we are going to represent? We will discuss. Now, when two atomic orbitals are combining, children, it will form two molecular orbitals which are called as bonding molecular orbital. I have written short form. Bonding molecular orbital, anti-bonding molecular orbital. Okay, the bonding molecular orbital possesses lower energy, lesser energy. It possesses low energy. Anti-bonding possesses high energy. So obviously bonding molecular orbital will be more stable. Whichever has less energy is more stable. Anti-bonding or molecular orbital possesses high energy. So this is less stable. Less stable than the bonding molecular orbital. We represent bonding molecular orbitals with the symbols sigma, pi. We'll be mainly talking about sigma and pi. You have delta also, but we'll be talking about these two only. And anti-bonding molecular orbitals are represented as pi star, sigma star, pi star. Okay, sigma star and pi star. So star we write down for representing the anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Now, the shapes of the atomic orbital depends upon shape of molecular orbital. Shape of molecular orbital depends upon the type of combining atomic orbitals. Means if S is combining with S, the shape will be different. If the P is combining, the shape is little different. What is the shape? We are going to discuss just now. Okay. The next is Filling of the molecular orbitals is in accordance to Aufbau's rule, Hund's rule and Pauli's exclusion principle. Pauli's exclusion principle. Okay, that means all these principles are followed. We will be shortly writing their configurations and understanding how they are followed. Aufbau's rule means, Aufbau's rule, an orbital with less energy is filled first, building up, right? And Hund's rule, if they are degenerate orbitals, then the all degenerate orbital will get one electron, then only the pairing will begin. And Pauli's exclusion principle said that no two electrons will have the same set of the quantum number. So all rules will be followed in this. Now let us further discuss. See, the formation of the molecular orbital is explained on the basis of linear combination of atomic orbital. Okay, so we consider the atomic orbital as a wave. Atomic orbital we consider as a wave. We have discussed that as per Schrodinger. The wave of the two atomic orbitals may be in phase or out of phase. Now, what is this in phase and out of phase? We'll discuss. See, this is the meaning. So, if we say one wave is in this manner and the another wave is like this. So, these are, suppose we are representing the wave functions as A and B. Okay, these are the two wave functions. These represent the amplitudes of the electron waves of two atoms A and B. So when the two waves are in phase, like this, the first one, if they are in phase, that means you can see the crest and trough, they are in the same directions, then we say they are being added. There is addition. So when the two waves are in phase, that is constructive interference, then we add them up. So the amplitude of the new wave will be written as like this. You will represent the amplitude of the new wave as psi A plus psi B. So we can just add these amplitudes and we can just elongate them like this, we write down. This is constructive interference. What is this, children? This is constructive interference. Constructive interference. Okay, this is constructive interference. Now if it is like this, if you are representing same the amplitudes of the two waves like this and they are not in phase, this one is crest, trough, and again the trough is coming and this one is the crest, then we say there is subtraction. There is subtraction of the two. Basically, what is orbital, children? It is that region where there is maximum probability of finding the electrons. So if this is in not in phase, right? This is not in phase. We can write either, we can represent them. I am writing here minus. Actually, you know that subtraction I am writing, you know that they are not in phase. So when we are adding means ultimately we are subtracting them. So you will not add up their amplitudes. You will not add up. Either you can just write down like this. You can either write down like this, or in some books you can find, this is slightly reduced, like that it is written. Is it clear here? So this linear combination method of atomic orbital method, LCAO method, this is applied in explaining the new molecular orbitals which are formed as per this MOT theory. So now how are we going to decide the shapes of the S orbital and P orbital applying this LCAO method? We are going to discuss this. Now suppose we say S orbital and another s orbital. This is one s orbital. Now we represent, this is at the internuclear axis. This is, we write down as plus here, 1s with 1s. Now if it is addition, okay, if it is addition, what are we going to write down? We are going to combine this and we are going to represent this with a bigger lobe like this. Okay, we are going to represent like this with a bigger lobe. Okay, so this we write down. When it is addition, we will call this as sigma 1s. As we said, no, S and S, There are two atomic orbitals. They will be combining and forming two new molecular orbitals. One is bonding and another one is anti-bonding. So how are we going to represent the anti-bonding molecular orbital? We will write them like this. 1s orbital and another 1s orbital. This is 1s. When we are representing like this, no, we'll be showing plus here. For the other one, we will be writing minus. Okay, we'll be writing minus. So there is subtraction. So when there is subtraction, what we will do? We will not, combine their lobes. We are going to just write them like this. A gap will be shown in between them, and we'll be showing like this, right? Plus and minus we are going to show. This is written as sigma star 1s. This is sigma. That means 1s atomic. This is for one atom. This is for another atom. So 1s of one atom combines with 1s of another and forms two molecular orbitals, which are called as sigma 1s and sigma star 1s. Right? Now this sigma star 1s, this is the region where there is no electron present. So this is called as nodal plane. What is nodal plane, children? Nodal plane is that region where there is no electron found. So sigma star has one nodal plane and the bonding molecular orbital does not have any nodal plane. Now let us see how P overlaps and forms molecular orbitals. Now let us see for P, we are writing here. This is, I am writing for 2pz. Okay, so 2pz of one, when it combines with 2pz of another one. So if the two positive signs, they come nearby, we will say this is 2pz of another one. We will say there is addition. Okay, so when there is addition, that inner part you will make overlapped one that is slightly bigger. So these two will fuse together and form a bigger lobe, and on the sides you are going to show smaller. So these two minus you are going to show here, and you are going to show one bigger lobe here with the positive sign. This is axial overlapping only. This is the axis. Along the axis it is overlapping, so it is called as sigma 2pz. Even sigma 2pz, it does not have nodal plane. No nodal plane in sigma 2pz. Okay, now when sigma 2pz and sigma 2pz, as I said, the two atomic orbital, they should be combining and forming two molecular orbital. So if it is overlapping like this is also 2pz of one atom, 2pz of another. Now there is subtraction we are going to show. That is destructive interference in other terms which we just discussed. Okay, so when it is subtraction, then what we are going to do is, these we are going to show here outside little bigger. Here we are going to show small, and here small, and here we are going to show little bigger. As we were writing these charges, we are going to just represent, okay. So this is subtraction. You are getting, this is another molecular orbital. This is bonding. Upper one is bonding molecular orbital, that is sigma 2pz. This is sigma star 2pz. This is called as anti-bonding molecular orbital. This is one region where there is no electron found. This is one nodal plane, that is anti-bonding, that is 2 pi sigma star 2pz. It has one nodal plane. It has one nodal plane. Got it? Same with children, if we have to draw for 2px or 2py, okay, which are not along the internuclear axis, which is perpendicular to that axis, then if there is addition, so we'll write down positive on the top. There will be addition, and you are going to combine these upper two lobes and the lower ones. So this will be one internuclear axis. You will combine like this, and the upper two lobes you are going to represent, and likewise you are going to show the lower two ones. So this is the positive part, this is the negative part, this is addition, and this is one region, children, where there is no electron. So one nodal plane found in this. Okay, this is forming, a pi. So we will call this as pi 2px or pi 2py. So what is this? It is a bonding molecular orbital formed by addition. So addition is always forming a bonding molecular orbital, right? And this is subtraction, right? So when there is subtraction, you're going to show positive, and here you're going to show negative. So what is this one? So if this was 2px or 2py, same way this one also 2px or 2py. But if it is x, this also will be x. If this is y, this also will be y. So don't mistake, don't make that mistake here. Okay, so this we are going to show as the internuclear axis. We will show the lobes like this because there won't be any overlapping in that aspect. It will be destructive interference. So we are going to show the charges, as usual, as so plus minus, and here minus and plus. So this will be one nodal plane, this will be another nodal plane. There are two nodal planes in this children. There are two nodal planes, and this one is called as pi star 2px or 2py. If it is x and x, it will form pi 2px and pi star 2px. Got it till here? Now we'll be proceeding towards how do we write configurations and the molecular orbital diagram. So first I'm applying to H2, hydrogen molecule. So 1s of one hydrogen atom. This is also another hydrogen atom. This is having one electron. This is having one electron. So 1s of one, 1s of another hydrogen atom, they will combine and will result in the formation of two molecular orbitals. These molecular orbitals are called as sigma 1s and sigma star 1s. Clear? So one electron from here, this side is represented by atomic orbital. This is atomic orbital. In the center we are writing molecular orbital. So 1s of one, 1s of another one will combine. And how many electrons we are getting? One from here, two. So two electrons. First, this way the energy is increasing. Energy is increasing this way. So the electron will first be placed in bonding molecular orbital. So two electrons. So one electron and second electron. So both electrons will be coming in this. Now, if we have to write down the electronic configuration of H2, no longer you are going to write down as 1s1. We will be writing this molecule configuration. So what is the configuration for H2 now? We will be writing as sigma 1s2 because both electrons are present in this sigma. So we will write down sigma 1s and two electrons are there. So we will write down this. This diagram which we have drawn, this is called as molecular orbital energy level diagram. Molecular orbital energy level diagram. This is the configuration. Now one more thing children, this particular theory can also help us in calculating the bond order. Bond order. How do we calculate the bond order? The formula is number of bonding electrons minus number of anti-bonding electrons divided by 2. So how many bonding electrons are there in this? This one you can say 2. Anti-bonding 0. So what is the bond order? 2 minus 0 by 2. You are getting 1. That means the bond order for hydrogen is 1. Right? So electronic configuration, molecular orbital configuration is this, bond order is this, and this is the diagram. Is it clear? So we will also apply for some other species. Achha, before that, suppose you are asked to write down the configuration for H2 minus. What you will do? You will make the changes in the same. Okay, this you have noted down. Please take the screenshot of this. Now in this only I will tell you. Suppose you have to make for H2 minus. Then what you are going to do? H2 minus mean one side you are going to show hydrogen. I am writing this with blue pen, right? This side you will write hydrogen. This side you will write down H minus. This is having one electron, so you will write down one electron. This side is having two electrons, so you will write down now two electrons in this. Right? So now one of this, two of this. Total 3 electrons you have. Through 3 electrons means 2 electrons you are going to fill here and 1 electron you are going to show in this. So what will be the configuration for this one? What configuration you will write down for this? Sigma 1s 2 sigma star 1s1. So what will be the bond order for this, children? Now you will calculate bond order as bonding molecular, how many electrons were there? 2, and anti-bonding you have 1 divided by 2. So what is the bond order for this? Half, 0.5, or you can write half. Got it? If you are asked to write down for H2 plus, I think it's very easy. Now you can try out on your own. One electron, another one you will write empty. So only one electron you are going to show here. So 1 minus 0 by 2. Again you will get half. I hope this you can try out the diagram on your own. You are going to represent only one electron. So configuration will be sigma 1s1 only. Okay, and what will be the bond order for this? 1 minus 0 by 2. That is again half. Okay, so for these two species I have drawn. Further I'll explain. Now suppose you are asked to draw for He2. He2. What you will do? You will draw this 1s. You will draw 1s. You know hydrogen in the helium configuration, children. Helium is 1s2. This side also another helium. It is 1s2. So you will have 2 electrons here. You will have 2 electrons here. 1s will combine and will form 2 molecular orbitals. We will draw one and another one. This is sigma 1s, this is sigma star 1s. 2 and 2, 4 electrons. So we will start filling from here. Energy is increasing this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We will fill in the electrons. So the configuration for helium is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2. Got it? So what is the bond order? This is the configuration. The bond order 2 minus 2. 2 minus 2 by 2. 0. So bond order is 0. Means He2 molecule does not exist. He2 molecule does not exist. Did you follow this? Okay, one more thing I had to tell you here. You can see this we said. One thing is configuration. Another is diagram. We know the bond order. Another thing, we can also check for the magnetic behavior. I told you, if you see, this was the configuration for H2. There were no unpaired electron in this, in the molecular configuration. So no unpaired means it is diamagnetic. It is diamagnetic. If it is having any unpaired electron, then it will be paramagnetic. Like H2, this one. This is having one unpaired. This is having one unpaired. So both these are paramagnetic. In the molecular configuration, you can see the unpaired electron. Even in the diagram, you can find out. Clear? Fine. Now, let us see about this. This the molecule doesn't exist. So we have drawn diagram. We have written configuration. We have calculated the bond order. Since the bond order is 0, if bond order is 0 means the molecule does not exist. So if the molecule will exist for this one, we will say no unpaired means it should be diamagnetic, but it doesn't exist. So no point in talking about it. Got it? So sometimes you are even asked for writing for He2 plus. You can write for yourself and check what it is. Clear? Now we will try out for one more molecule like this. Let us see. Yes, we are drawing for this one, Li2. So what we will do, children, we know what is Li configuration, 1s2 and 2s1. Right? So when we are writing, we will be writing like this, 1s and 1s of another. They are going to combine and form 2 molecular orbital. This is 1s and 1s. I'm drawing for 1s and showing you, but anyway I will also tell you how it is getting cancelled, because it is same. Right, this is 1s, this is 2s, and this is 2s. So we will draw 2 electrons here and 1 electron here. 2 electrons here and 1 electron here. This is 1 lithium, this is another lithium, this is Li2, this is molecule. This is about molecule, this is about atom. This is molecule. So 2 electron, this is we know the names now. This is sigma 1s, this is sigma star 1s. What is this? This is sigma 2s and this is sigma star 2s. Okay, so when we are filling electrons, how? This way, of course, energy is increasing. We know this. So 2 and 2, 4 electrons. How we will fill? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more electrons we will fill like this. Got it? So when we are calculating bond order, if for the lower one 1s, you are having bonding and anti-bonding same. You can omit this because they are going to get cancelled. If you want, you can take it, but otherwise this is not going to affect the bond order. Only in the valence one we can check, we will get the right answer. So how many bonding electrons are there here? Bonding electrons 2. Anti-bonding, you don't have any electron here, 0 divided by 2. So bond order is 1. That means there is one bond between two Li atoms. If we have to write the configuration for Li2, what we are going to write down? Sigma, we will copy from here. It is sigma 1s2. You are having here sigma star 1s2. Then you are having here sigma, you can go on putting commas here, sigma 2s2. Got it? So you do not have any unpaired electrons in this. So no unpaired electron means it is diamagnetic. So we have drawn the diagram, we have calculated bond order, we have written the configuration, we have calculated that whether it is para or diamagnetic. Is it clear? So this particular theory can talk about bond order, it can talk about stability, it can talk about the magnetic behavior. Please note that formula: bond order is number of bonding electrons minus anti-bonding electrons. Now we will talk about the next one. I will explain you for nitrogen molecule, because this is required till atomic number less than 7. Atomic number less than 7, or you can say the number of electrons less than 14. If the electrons are less than 14, then you will be using this particular diagram. So what does this say? This is basically, children, I'm drawing for N2 and explaining. So anything less than this also will be the same. 1s, this is nitrogen. You know what is the configuration for nitrogen atom? Nitrogen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Right, so we will draw here 2 electrons and 3 electrons here. This is nitrogen atom's configuration, right? This is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. 1s combine and form 2 molecular orbitals. One is sigma 1s, another is sigma star 1s. This we have studied earlier. This is 2s, this is 2s, and they combine and form sigma 2s. This is sigma star 2s. This also we have studied in lithium. Okay, sigma star 2s. Electrons I will be filling just now. This is 2p, 2px, 2py, 2pz. This is 2p, 2px, 2py, 2pz. One electron we know in nitrogen. Now, till nitrogen, that is atomic number less than 7 or electrons less than 14, you will find that pi is less. That is pi 2px, this is pi 2py. This is sigma 2pz. Then you have pi star 2px is equal to pi star 2py. Then you have sigma star 2pz. This is the order. Right. Now why this is the order? Because in this, in till nitrogen, the energy gap between 2s and 2p is very less. So there is almost mixing of the atomic orbitals. So because of the mixing of the atomic orbitals, the electrons which are there in this sigma 2pz, they get more repulsion, and they go up. It should be actually sigma having less energy. That is the first bond form. So because there is almost a mixing of the atomic the electrons present in 2s and 2p, the electrons from here, this orbit, electrons which are present in 2pz, they face more repulsion and it goes up. The energy is up. We can remember like this. It is 2 1, that is 2 1 2 1 for nitrogen. That is two orbitals together. Pi ones are always together because they are degenerate. Then you have sigma, then 2 pi's together, then sigma. So how you are going to fill in electrons in them, that we will see. 2 to 4 electrons. So 1 2 3 4. 2 to 4 electrons. So 1 2 3 4. 3 3 6 electrons. How you will fill? Just see. Hund's rule will be obeyed. You can see here how I am filling. 6 electrons. So 1 2 degenerate, both will get 1 electron. Then 3, 4, 5 and 6. Got it? This is the way you're going to fill in. So what is the configuration you will write down for nitrogen molecule? You'll start from here. Sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, then you have sigma 2s2, then you have sigma star 2s2. You can check here. Then you have, pi 2px2 is equal to pi 2py2. Then you have sigma 2pz2. I mean, what you write here, starting from here, following Aufbauer's rule, you are going to write down the configuration. Right? Now, when you are checking the, para or dia, as I said, bonding, anti-bonding, same, you can neglect. This also you can neglect. Only in the last one you can see. So, what is the bond order for this? You can check how many bonding electrons are there in this. 6 and up, anti-bonding 0. So, what we will say? 6 minus 0 by 2. Bond order is 3. In nitrogen molecule, the bond order is 3. Clear? So, we have written, this is the diagram, this is for N2. Okay, diagram, we have written configuration, we have calculated bond order. Now, in this there are no unpaired electron, all paired electrons. All paired electron means this nitrogen molecule is diamagnetic. This is diamagnetic. Suppose you are asked to write down, I will just write here only so that you don't get confused. Suppose you are asked to write down for N2 minus. Don't think this is having 15 electron. 15 electron means it will be following that oxygen ka diagram. No, it is obtained from N2 now. So you will be writing 1 extra electron only. So you will be writing 1 electron in this. Suppose please take the screenshot of this N2 first. Now, if you have to draw for N2 minus, you will add 1 more electron here. Means one of them will be N, another will be N minus, and then 1 extra electron will be there and 1 electron you are going to show here. Then you will calculate the bonding electrons are 6, anti-bonding is 1 divided by 2. It will have the fractional bond order. That is not a problem. Then it is having 1 unpaired electron also. Then that will make it paramagnetic. If you are asked to write down for N2 plus, then again you will remove 1 electron from here. You will take this as 2 electron only. And then you are going to write. So don't worry about this N2 minus. That means it is 15 electron. It will follow the oxygen cutting. It is the same thing like this only. Got it? Yes. Taking quite long, but doesn't matter. I have to cover all MOT points in this. O, O2. Now I am taking for oxygen molecule. Right? For atomic numbers, as I said, more than 7 or 14 electrons and more. This will be the diagram followed. Right? We know what is the configuration for oxygen, children. We know it is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Right? So this is 1s, 1s. This is 2s, 2s. This is 2p, this is 2p. 1s will form 2, 2s will form 2. Right? So we will fill in the electrons first. There are, these many electrons here. Let me write. Yes. So 1s, this is again this side also I'm going to write down. So 1s will combine and form sigma, sigma 1s, sigma star 1s, sigma 2s, sigma star 2s. What about this? You can see here sigma 2pz is down. This is pi 2px, pi 2py, and then children you are writing here this is pi star 2px. We don't require that upper one, so I'm just ignoring it and keeping it up. That you don't worry about it. Okay, this is the anyway you can write down the orbitals, right? Now I'm going to fix it like this only to explain it, right? Now 2 to 4 electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 to 4 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 4, 8 electrons. Now here it is very important how we are going to fill in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are degenerate, so both should get 1, 1, then only pairing. Then 6, 7 and 8. You will not fill in both in 1. This is pi star 2px, pi star 2py. Got it? Another point you must have noticed here. I have drawn it down. Sigma is down. Whereas what was there here, I have drawn sigma up. I told you more mixing means more repulsion. Here there is no mixing, no repulsion. Right. So 2s and 2p, the energy gap is more. So there is less mixing of the two orbitals. So less mixing means the sigma 2pz is as such down. So how will you remember for oxygen? These two are same. It is 1, 2, 2, 1. For nitrogen it was 2, 1, 2, 1. Only the lower one is reversed. That's it. Okay. Yes. So how are we going to write the configuration now, children? Starting from here. We will write the configuration is sigma 1s 2, sigma star 1s 2, sigma 2s 2, sigma star 2s 2. Then from here we will write sigma 2pz2. Then we will write pi 2px2 is equal to pi 2py2. Then we will write pi star 2px1 is equal to pi star 2py1. Got it? This is the configuration. There are two unpaired electrons in this. There are two unpaired electrons. That means it is paramagnetic. It's a very important question asked. O2 molecule is paramagnetic. Explain. MOT can explain it is paramagnetic. Right. How do you calculate bond order? This you can neglect. This you can neglect. You have to focus on this. 6 minus 2. So bond order, children, is 6 minus 2 by 2. That is 2. Bond order is 2 for oxygen molecule. If you are asked to write down for O2 minus, O2 2 minus, very simple. You know, O2 minus means add one more electron. O2 2 minus means add one more electron. So O2 minus will be still paramagnetic. O2 2 minus both will be paired now. That will be not paramagnetic, diamagnetic. Got it? At the end, I will give you one trick to calculate the bond order. Very, very simple but very useful. You just calculate the number of electrons. If you find number of electrons are 3, the bond order, number of electron 14. Number of electrons 14. Bond order is 3. Plus minus 1, that means number of electrons 3, 13, 15, then 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, you can go on writing. This side is 11, 10 and so on. So plus minus 1 will make a bond order difference of 0.5. 15 will be 2.5. Still one more difference, 2. This will be also 2. This is the main in between. If it is 14 electrons, bond order is 3. Plus minus 1, when you are making that bond order differs by 0.5. Right? You can cross check. N2. How many electron does it have? 7 plus 7, 14. Bond order is 3. O2. 8 plus 8, 16. Bond order is 2. N2 bond order was 3. Right? 14 electrons. 14 bond order is 3. O2 bond order is 2. Say if I am writing O2 minus 16 plus 1, 17. 17 means what is the bond order? Still it will differ by 0.5. Right? Sometimes you may also come across, some examples like H2, Li2, B2, where the bond order is same. Normally what we say, higher the bond order, more the stability, because we say bond order is directly proportional to the stability. Suppose some species are asked to you, like they ask you, say O2, O2 minus, O2 plus, O2 2 minus, arrange them in the increasing order of the stability. You will calculate their bond orders, and whichever is having the maximum bond order will be most stable. Okay. Normally it is like this, higher the bond order, more the stability. But sometime like this particular example, when you calculate, the bond order is found to be same. Then how do you calculate? You will say more the number of electrons, more the electrons in bonding molecular orbital, more is the stability. More is the number of the electrons in the bonding molecular orbitals, more is the stability. Got it? So you can try this out, H2, Li2 and B2, and try to put them in the increasing order of their stabilities. You should be getting this answer. H2 is maximum, then B2 and then Li2. Okay? Is it clear? I hope you have liked whatever points we have discussed in molecular orbital theory. Practice it well. Try to apply this for different species. More than this, you can get many more examples. You can apply it for different species and see whether you get the confidence. I hope you have liked the trick and this theory explanation and all. So please, if you liked it, like my video and share it. Thanks for watching.